It's a true story. Hank Huizinga was, Hank is the #1 driver. You know Hank Huizinga. And I said, Hank, where are you working at? He says, I'm working for Josma, which was a competitor. But I'm going to work for Ozinga next week. They're looking for drivers. I said, really? Sounds interesting. He said, do you think they'd hire me? And he said, sure.
Oh, Paulie and I go back a long ways. I think it was 1963. We met in the parking lot of Evergreen Park Bank, and we got talking there, and I think it went that he just lost his job, or he was kind of looking for another job also. I says, hey, I just got hired over here across the railroad tracks at Ozinga. I says, they're looking for another driver over there. Why don't you go over there? So sure enough, he went over there, and a week later he started. And we've been buddies ever since, hanging around together.
Well, I guess going back years when we were both on Ready Mix together, Paul drove a semi-truck back then, and he got a new truck. It was number 50. And I just remember that had a very tall smokestack. We used to actually call him the pipe. You know, that's because he had this tall smokestack. We even kidded him about making the viaduct over here in Mokina because this smokestack was so tall.
Handsome young guy. I thought he was a movie star. Always had a big smile on his face, had a beautiful head of hair, always kept a comb in his pocket, was constantly doing the Kooky Burns thing, you know, all the time, fixing his hair. He loves to work. I'm sure he gets up every morning with all excited and happy because he gets to go to work.
When he first got diagnosed with the throat cancer, I mean, obviously being a salesman, you know, your voice is your primary instrument. So he had a really hard time getting through that initially.
I'll never forget, ever forget, visiting him in the hospital, struggling with cancer in the throat, and having had to have surgery that altered his ability to speak. And laying in bed almost with tears in his eyes, concerned whether or not this is going to affect his job, and will he be able to continue to go and see customers and sell Ozinga concrete.
There were a lot of dark days there that he got through, and you know, I really believe if he wasn't working for a company like Ozinga, I don't know where he'd be right now, to be honest with you, because he met with Marty Ozinga III and his wife Ruth, and they prayed together often, like right leading up to the surgery, and that really got him through it. I mean,
that brought tears to my eyes. And I told him, I said, you know, you can sell Ozinga concrete without speaking a word. If you can get words out, that'll be fine, but even if you can't, people who know you know how much you care.
It's the equivalent of if you're a carpenter and you have to, you know, build houses and put up, you know, cut the lumber and nail it in place, and you don't have arms anymore, you're an amputee. So as a salesman, your job is to go out and speak to customers, and you no longer have a voice. How do you go out and do that effectively? What he did is he got the buzz box, and he got really good at talking to it, so much so that he got asked to go around the country and show others how to do it.
you would think that somebody with that handicap, let's say, would be a little scared or nervous to go talk to people, but he's far from it. I mean, it doesn't slow him down at all.
For a total of 88 yards
Yes.
out of 340.
Out of 340.
Can't beat that.
No. No.
Paul is passionate about concrete, believe it or not.
My mom and my dad finally got to go to Hawaii. I get a text from my mom one day, and it's a picture of a concrete plant. Turns out they did a lot of driving. My dad saw a ready-mix truck on one of the islands, and he followed it, and he went to the plant. So I asked my mom, I'm like, what are you doing down there? And she says, 40 plus years it takes me to get to Hawaii. He takes me to a ready-mix plant.
I don't really want to retire. I like what I do. I like getting up and doing what I'm doing. I like getting these jobs. Nothing better to land a big one.
I think, in his own mind, he's convinced that he's one of the Ozingas, and it's Winkle Ready Mix,
I'm just absolutely proud and thankful that he's been part of our team for an entire lifetime.
Paul's on my list of great Americans. He's one of those guys who, believes in American ideals of hard work and free enterprise.
He's such an example. I think beyond the fact that no matter how many jobs he sells or the revenue he brings in, he's just a hero to everybody. He really is.
I've been just about everywhere that they build a plant. I'll go there and rustle up some business, you know. Gotta have sales.
Yeah, that's true. That's what keeps us
Without
busy.
sales, you got no fun projects, right?
Thanks and words like thank you aren't enough. Paul has been a great blessing to me personally, a great co-worker with me and with this company.
I would just like to thank Paul for helping me to learn to appreciate my role here.
Thanks for being a great friend, and thanks for being a good business partner.
Paulie, I'm just thankful for the 50 years of knowing you, the good and the bad times.
Thank you for being a hero to me, an example in my life, an example to persevere, an example to overcome.
For being a friend. Him and I have been friends for all the years. We both kind of started in the same place and kind of ended up in the same place. We started out as drivers and ended up on the sales team.
Everything that he's done in his life, even to this day, is still to help me and my brother and his family achieve whatever we want to achieve.
I just can't say enough for you. You've helped me out in so many ways. Thank you.
I don't know how to say thank you more than I love you, Paul. I think you're one of the greatest guys I ever met.